bringing the field down at a very slow pace. The 03 back out onto the trail. That's the 53. I apologize. Mike Henricks not making it back out. The 9 of Amy Arsenal did. The field gets ready to thunder off of turn number 4. Marissa Morgan jumps up on the throttle. Green flag unfurls, and we are back underway, pure stock style. Darryl Perry, another one of those drivers that pitted and is back out.
Down off turn number 3 they go. Marissa Morgan with the advantage through the corner. She's going to clear and take the lead off of turn number 4, but Joey Morissette still has some speed on that outside lane. Cuts down hard in front of Max Bergstrom, holding on to that second spot. Wanted to make sure he could get in front. Now looks for a quick crossover on Morgan, but Morgan holds that bottom line through the corner.
Off the corner they come, and Greg Perry is already up into the 4th spot. Sets his sights on the number 3 is Morissette, all over the back bumper of that yellow and gray 57. Your leader leads the charge. That is Marissa Morgan, looking for her first career pure stock win.
Off of turn number 4 they come. Morgan leaves Morissette. Max Bergstrom running that bottom lane, and your first of 2, or your top 2 here for the Phil's Propane Triple Crown Championship, battling side by side for 4th. It's Greg Perry to the inside, Danny Massa to the outside, and they're still side by side off the corner across the stripe.
Massa working that top lane as the 3 of Bergstrom getting a little bit crossed up down the front straightaway. Perry took a nose up underneath. Meanwhile, up front, battle for the lead. Morissette down to the inside of the 57. Morgan trying to shut the door. Morissette's already there as they hit turn 1.
Morgan still holds on to that lead, but Morissette with a great run off turn number 2. Powers down underneath Morgan. They're side by side, even through the corner. Off of turn number 4, Joey Morissette with the advantage. He'll lead that lap. The battle for 3rd also heating up. Danny Massa. It's a 5-car battle for your top 5. Throw them onto a blanket as they race down the back.
Into 3 and 4, and Morissette trying to make it a TTM night. Leads the charge off of turn number 4. 23 laps remain as they go 3 wide for that 3rd spot down into 1. Massa with the run up top takes over this position.
Massa into 3rd, looks to get past Morgan here, but Morgan's able to get down low quickly. She drifts up just a little bit off 4. That's going to open the door for Danny Massa. He's underneath. Greg Perry up on top. They're going to try to make it 3 wide around Morgan. Morgan holds the center as they race off of turn number 2. Now 3 wide down the backstretch as they approach the lap car. Battling through the corner, 3 wide still. Massa comes out in front. Perry and Morgan battle side by side.
Danny Massa and Greg Perry putting it all out there to try to find the top of the field, but they are chasing that black number 77. Joey Morissette leading the charge down into turn number 3 by a car length over Massa. Massa has a miracle of green and orange of Greg Perry. Perry takes a look down low, settles it in back, tries the top side down the back straightaway.
Slight breakaway from your top 3 cars here. Joey Morissette, your leader, sitting on that bottom lane here, holding off Danny Massa. Greg Perry laying in wait in 3rd, putting all the pressure he can on Massa. He only needs 1 spot to win a championship here tonight for the Phil's Propane Triple Crown. They battle for 2nd and 3rd as we see Ava Schwanar right ahead of Doug Benoit. Those are your other 2 Triple Crown contenders off 4.
Perry takes a look to the outside of Massa down into turn number 1. Massa is able to hold him off. Perry settles it in back behind. Down the backstretch, he takes another peek to the outside. They hit turn 3. The 27 of Emily Brightman is right there. She slides up the racetrack as the leaders thunder by down on the inside.
3-car train down on the bottom as they race through 1 and 2. Perry, Massa now with a run underneath Morissette as they race down into turn number 3. Side by side through the corner. Perry looks to follow on that bottom lane as they come off of 4 across the stripe. Massa gets it by a nose as they race into 1.
Danny Massa becomes the 3rd leader of the event. Leads the charge down the back straightaway as Morissette gets caught up on the outside. Perry sits on the inside lane looking for the number 2 spot. We've hit the halfway. 15 down, 15 to go, and Massa and Perry try to break away from Morissette down the backstretch.
You could see the drive that these front 2 drivers had to get up through the pack. They started in the middle and they made their way up to the top 2 rather quickly in the first half of the race. Massa and Perry, caution flag is out. We got 2 cars around exiting turn number 2.
Round 15 to go. We have reached just the halfway point. Danny Massa and Greg Perry jump up on the throttle. Green flag high in the air. Morissette trying to move in down to the inside. They hit turn number 1. Perry up top. trying to take over the top spot, but Massa holds him off down into 3.
Racing down through 3 and 4. Perry doing what he can to get to the bottom there, and he's going to follow in tow with the 41 of Massa. Morissette sits in that 3rd position, and here comes Scott Sestodio up into 4th, with Doug Benoit following behind him on the bottom.
Down into 3 and 4 they go in the battle for that 5th spot. Hot and heavy. Bergstrom works the outside. Benoit down low as they come off the corner. Benoit's got a nose advantage as they head down into turn number 1. Bergstrom slideways, gathers it back in, settles it in behind the deuce as Sestodio takes a peek underneath Morissette for 3rd.
These top 2 drivers battling it out big time for both the win and the Phil's Propane Triple Crown Championship. They've opened up about a 5-car length lead back to 3rd place now. Scott Sestodio, but we know that 31 of Sestodio is fast. Can he close that gap on Perry and the 41 of Massa with 11 laps to go?
Field starting to string itself out around the 3rd mile. Minoni drifting down the front straightaway, trying to get that car under control, and he does before he hits turn number 1. Your leaders continue to play bumper tag across the stripe with 10 laps to go. Sestodio trying to close in the gap off of turn number 2, just a tick quicker each and every lap. They head down off of 4 with 9 laps remaining.
Off the corner they come. 9 laps to go this time by as they cross the stripe. Massa still leads Perry, and about 4 or 5 car lengths behind is the 31 of Sestodio, who's opened up a significant gap over 4th place Joey Morissette, and closing that gap on your top 2 every single lap. 8 to go this time by.
Down into 1 and 2, he's still over a 1.5 seconds behind our 2, and with 8 laps to go, it's going to be tough catching that fast 41. They roll off of turn number 4. 7 laps remain this time across the stripe. Danny Master in the Jerry's General Maintenance Machine leads the charge off of 4 by 2 lengths over Greg Perry.
And you mentioned it's going to be tough to catch him. It's another thing to pass him as well. Sestodio has closed that gap a bit on 2nd place Greg Perry, who's losing a good amount of ground to our leader, Danny Massa, as they race down through 1 and 2 with 6 to go. Massa down the back stretches. They're going to approach a couple lapped cars.
Off of turn number 4, 5 laps remaining for Danny Massa. Seekonk-08 stays high on the racetrack. Benoit high on the racetrack. They roll through turns 1 and 2, single file with about even spacing between them.
Down through 3 and 4 across the stripe. It'll be 4 to go this time by for Danny Massa. Can he come home with the sweep, win the Triple Crown and the feature event here tonight as he rolls out of turn number 2? 4 to go. He's opened up the gap to about 3 car lengths over 2nd place Greg Perry. And we get a car around.
Puts him on the rear bumper. Little added incentive for the former Pure Stock champion. Field is set, 4 laps to go. Massa and Perry to bring the field down as Mike Belanger looks the field over. They hit the throttle. Perry gets a good jump on the outside, looking for the lead down into turn number 1.
A great jump for Perry as Shane Lambert around in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Can he get it fired back up? He's still stopped there as they're racing off turn number 4. Caution flag flies. And they're going to lead the field down through 3 and 4. 2 Triple Crown contenders racing off of turn number 4. Green flag in the air, and they're off. Perry with another good start on that outside lane, but Massa gets a good one as well. They're side by side off turn number 2. Down into 3. Perry with the edge, but Massa sticking strong on the bottom.
Wheel to wheel at the top of the field. They race off of turn number 4. Perry becomes the 4th different leader of this event, that time across the stripe, but can he sustain it? Massa battles back down on the inside with Sestodio right on his tail.
Massa with the edge off the corner, doesn't want to open up that door too much. Sestodio is right there all over his bumper. Perry now to the outside of Sestodio. Sestodio tries to get underneath. They're going to race down the backstretch. Perry very high. Massa sticks to the bottom. Sestodio backs off in the corner. Coming out of turn number 4, 3 wide across the stripe.
White flag is held, final time down into turn number 1. 3 wide for the lead off of 2. Perry up on the outside. Massa in the middle. Here comes Sestodio down to the inside. Perry trying to crossover move off of 4. They come down across the stripe, and it is Sestodio for the win, and for 2nd place, unofficially, Danny Massa by 11 thousandths of a second. How is that for a finish? Congratulations, Scott. Tell us about that pass for the lead.
I couldn't believe it. My eyes probably opened up bigger than silver dollars when I seen Danny getting loose and Greg out there, and I was out of control myself. This thing was, we worked on it all day and got it a little bit better, but it was still loose in the feature, and I couldn't believe it though. I seen that hole and I had to go for it.
You got up to third. The 2 leaders were checked out from you. At that point, did you resolve yourself for finishing third, or were you just hoping for something to happen like what happened?
I was completely content with finishing third. I had said it on the restart. I said, all right, I'm sitting here third. These guys are going for the Triple Crown. I didn't really want to get involved in taking anybody out for the Triple Crown, but when you got a whole car length open in the bottom into 3 and 4, I'm going to drive it in every time.
I know you got some people to thank.
Yeah, I got to thank Lenny for letting me drive this thing. This thing's a hot rod. Richie's Insulation, R&K Home Service, Apollo Safety, Sanford & Sons. I always forget that one on the back. I'm a bad driver.
Danny, tell us about those last 5 laps.
I didn't need none of them cautions. It seems every week if I'm up front, we got a slow car that's spinning out, and it usually costs me a race. But we got the Triple Crown. I'm excited for that. I've been trying for 7 years to get that. Lost it 3 years back by 1 position. We got it tonight.
The difference was 11 thousandths of a second between you and Greg. Now, how heated was that conversation you and Greg had right at the end of that race?
I just told him he drove me into the wall. There was plenty of room for him, and he just forced the issue a little too much. But it is what it is. We got the big trophy, and I'll take it.
I know you got some people you want to thank. You got a new partner on board with you.
Oh, definitely. First off, I got to thank Anna because I forgot her in my feature win. But Jerry's General Maintenance, he's done a lot so far. I want to thank him. Skeeter for helping me today with the power steering. Mark Murphy Auto Body, TFB Racing, and Phil's Propane for putting this on big time. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have this. And Richie Helga for sponsoring the division.